Okay, started again. Honestly, can't be fucking doing with this tonight. If it's not my internet, it's my USBs. Like they just disconnect. Just go no, and just disconnect whenever the internet's under high load. Don't know what it
Oh, it's
is.
doing it's
That's
doing
weird.
that again?
It's been doing it for fucking months. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it does it. It just does. It's been doing it since I reformatted the PC. It's been doing it.
Hmm.
So, um, yeah, it's fine. I used to have like a bridge so that I'd do the internet through the bridge, and it would plug into the Ethernet, and I'd never have a problem. It never went down, never, nothing. So it is the USB. For some reason, it doesn't like it when the internet gets heavy load, and it just fucking shits itself and switches off.
Hmm.
Weird.
So then I've got to restart the entire fucking PC to get it back again. So fucking annoying.
All right. Well,
Yeah. Uh,
But yeah, what were you saying?
you didn't miss much because we stopped when we realized you weren't here.
Mhm.
So basically, I'm in the bush, and it's like Decimus, and then that whole. I think you were
Yeah.
still there for that, and
Okay,
then
so for people who are just coming into the session, that we're in camp now.
Yeah.
After the battle now, so we are up here somewhere, just in Vitten's watch. Gone back there, chilling out, doing our own thing, basically.
So yeah, basically, I'm talking to him from the bush. Like when we were fighting Darkblade, I I dove in and I missed. Because I'm. Anyway, enough about that. So so he went to strike back, and I thought for sure I was going to die, but then all of a sudden I was behind him.
what do you mean you were behind? Suddenly behind him?
I was just behind. I didn't move. He went to strike at me, and then I was behind him.
And then, out of character, this is when I was trying to ask you if I had felt any sort of surge or anything with the binding when she teleported.
No. No.
All right. Well, I'm gonna kind of try to see if I can feel any sort of residual energy off of her. Try to figure out if she is if she has power in the binding or not, or if there's something else going on, or because first I want to see if she's a binding user that nobody noticed.
Okay. Go ahead
I'm just
and roll a binding check for me. Doesn't need to be a difficult one. Yeah. You can't feel anything. You feel nothing whatsoever.
I was like, sorry. I don't feel any power of the binding in you. So if this teleporting thing, well, it might have something to do with this tempest blood thing. I was like, just I'm gonna see what I can find out about this, and I'm gonna pull out that go through my stuff and find that book that we took, and I'll let you know what I can find out, and then I'm just gonna just kind of forget about my letters for a bit, and just start poring over this book, see if I can find any hint of how she, I guess, teleported.
Okay. You don't find much. Basically, well, we'll come back to you in a bit because you're going to go away and study. So, yeah. So he basically leaves you with that, Saya. What do you think about that? Are you?
I still don't really understand what's going on.
So. Okay.
I'm just kind of still weirded out that that happened in the first place, because that would be really weird.
Confusing.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'm okay to fast forward to the morning now. Obviously, Decimus, you know a few more things in the morning. I will tell you in a minute. Basically, you actually do a binding check and then an intelligence check for me.
Binding check, and I put a point into intelligence, guys. I actually did.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much, but that's not a pass.
I think I have 4.
So you can't
I
really.
have 4 as well now.
You can't really link it to Sire, but you do see that in a roundabout way. People do through Cassius's research, people do through the Tempest blood develop certain abilities, and most of the time, the abilities accentuate the skills that they already have. So, if somebody is a talented binding user, then the binding will obviously get a lot more powerful around them, things like that. If someone has a lethal form, or is very skilled at remaining unseen, or has a huge need or wants to remain unseen, then they'll just disappear and fade and reappear somewhere else. That's called fade stepping. So you can actually go from place to place, things like that. So you think that might be what Saya did, but it doesn't sound like it's what Saya did, because it's to overshoot too short a distance. And the experiments that Cassius did mention it happening over a couple of leagues, so people just appearing, in another city somewhere. So yeah, you actually read about one Tempest user who Cassius killed, who was able to traverse continents in like a millisecond. He just rip open a portal at one area and go to another one. But Cassius killed him and took his power, basically.
That makes me a bit nervous. So I think I'm gonna, I will. Oh, we'll continue in the morning. But,
You probably won't be able to sleep after reading about this weird shit.
I'm not gonna sleep as well because I have a feeling if Cassius decides to come find us, he can just come find us.
Yeah.
Like, what's up, guys?
Yeah, that's unsettling.
I was just in a completely different neighborhood, but I decided to pop in for a visit and explode you. Just super casual.
If you remember what happened last time, it wouldn't be Cassius who's coming to find you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's his name? I have it written down somewhere.
So, morning comes. You're in Baten's watch, and you guys are heading back to Sadie. You've lost most of your troops. Most of them gone back to the fields or have been recalled to Valenreath. We've sorted out all of your money and stuff. You still have 10,000 golden arms. On the way, Sejanus basically turns to all of you as you're riding together, and he looks back nervously at the as you're trotting along. He looks back nervously at the supply wagon, and he says, for 10,000 golden arms, you could buy yourself like a lordship in Valenreath, right? That's how much that is.
I would assume he's talking primarily to Darthus.
To all of you, really.
Well, yeah, I mean, my only thought out of character is that we haven't yet had time to spend the money, so I don't know.
Yeah, he's not worried about spending it. He doesn't even look like he's worried about spending it. He just...
Oh, okay. I'm just going to turn to him and say, Sejanus, if you wish to leave, you can do so. There's no shame in that.
He says, no. I just the advice I gave you today. I think we need somewhere to store this. We can't just have it sitting in a warehouse of Decimuses. There will be somebody who will either stumble across it, or get wind of it, or and will take it from you. And if you don't have that, then I don't get paid. So, other Valenreathans might lick your boots because of who you are, but I'm here for the money. Okay, just because I don't want to work for the Amber King doesn't mean that I owe you my allegiance or anything. Okay, you continue to pay me and my men, and we'll continue to follow you.
I'm gonna kind of put a hand up. It's like, we've been making inquiries, and I've sent some messengers to make inquiries into this castle Wolfspire of yours. It should prove to be, depending on what messengers say, it may prove to be a fairly solid base of operations for us.
Okay.
What state of repair is is Castle Wolfspire in, Sejanus? Do you know much about the place?
He says, well, last time we saw it, we were sailing past it. That's when we decided to turn back and not help the Amber King. But yeah, a couple of the walls need repairing. But apart from that, it's quite mighty as fortresses go. Just no one's really, taken it over. The Asunder like building new things. They don't like using old things. So Castle Wolfspire's been on its own. It's one of the largest in the region. From what we know, from what our research tells us, about 8-9 times the size of Vitten's Watch. It's not a small place.
That's the very issue for me. I think I'm a bit concerned that it might be too large. We might not be able to defend it in a manner that we might need to, and yeah, perhaps we could find somewhere a little bit more suiting to our needs.
Well, he basically turns to you and says, well, if you think your castle's too large, perhaps you should just get more men.
I'm gonna nod in agreement with that. That's pretty much exactly what I was thinking.
We just want more men.
It's like, I'm gonna turn to Darth and says, having more space means more room to expand. If we got something that was adequate for what we had, then we wouldn't be able to do any more with it. It's about, we have to prepare for not only for the now but for the future.
No one wanted to say anything to that?
Well, this isn't my strong point, so I kind of leave this to them to figure out.
Okay.
I'm an assassin. I don't know anything about fortresses and.
I think his flickering, so I think he had to refresh.
Okay. That's cool. Cool. Well, we can continue this on when we're in Saga, if you wish, because there are answers there waiting for you, perhaps, when you get back.
Yeah.
Alright. So you guys catch a ship. It doesn't need nowhere near as big as the one you had cut going out, but you do realise you're getting a lot of looks from peasantry, because they saw you heading out, now they're seeing like half the numbers coming back. But users also filtering back that the great Beshok Darkblade has been defeated in the field of battle, and he has, from the news that you're receiving when you come in to talk, is that he stomped back into Saga basically on his own, and immediately sequestered himself in his halls of residence out in the hills, and immediately put out a writ saying that he would be entering into the Serpent Stance tournament in an attempt to win back what has been stolen from him, basically. Because the money for the Serpent Stance tournament is around 20,000 golden alms, the actual prize fund. So he's thinking he can double his money if he can win that, and he is pretty handy in a fight, to be fair. So that's the news that's filtering back to you. Because I know you'd ask anyway. So that's the news that your agents have filtered back to you as you get back to your warehouses and the longhouse. When you're back at the longhouse, why don't you give some of your... in fact, no, I won't. I will do this way. So, Saya.
Yeah.
Let me just get one thing up here. Right. There are 4 people waiting for Saya when you get back. And, yeah, they are basically just waiting there with black robes on, or fully dressed to the hilt, and they're basically you can tell that they're your apprentices from the session.
I was about to ask that.
Yes,
I figured they were.
Yeah.
All
and
right.
Juro basically steps forward, who is the Valenrethian male, and says, "We hear you've been inquiring after Castle Wolfspire."
Yes, very good.
Okay, so he basically says, yeah, one of the walls is in a sorry state of disrepair, need rebuilding, but with the amount that you have coming in that we saw, the amount of men that you have, and the money you have, you could build, and this strikes you as weird straight away, because you haven't told him how much money you have.
Yeah.
But he says, judging by the amount of money you have, you should be able to rebuild the walls.
I know, I'm kind of torn between thinking this is very weird, like how the fuck do you know that, and being proud. Like one of those kind of things.
Yeah.
So I think I'll ask him, like, how did you find out?
He says, always be aware of where our agents are, Master. And he just says, not all of the fellows who left your service, did so with closed mouths, shall we say. A lot of them have been back a lot of them are back in the city already, and if I'm being honest, it took no effort at all to get the information out of a few of them that came back.
Thank you, Duro. Good work. Can you tell me who told you?
He could, but that would be like a meaningless name to you.
Okay.
Like you wouldn't know. Like
It'd probably just be some random merc dude.
exactly, yeah.
Who got drunk at a bar one night and was like, "Yeah,
Exactly.
we got this much."
Exactly, yeah. He does say, you know, your battle has been the tale of the taverns for the past few nights now. So, you know, you're toast of the town. If you wanted to take Castle Wolfspire, then that would be opportune time. Your popularity is such that even if Akira Kerod took offence at what you'd done, you know, it would take many months for him to bring his army back here, and then even then he'd face not a popular uprising, but certainly, you know, lots of locals made good is a nice story people like to hear.
You seem to have a very good grasp on the situation, Duro.
So, well, of the four of us in our merry band, I am the information broker. I am the person at the centre of our little web. I make sure that our agents know who to kill, when to kill, and where they'll be. Essentially, when we have jobs to do those sorts of things.
All right, very good.
You can see like the Jingams like just like looking around the place like, oh, this is really cool. And Hellas is there like admiring, pretty much admiring Darthus. That's pretty much all she's doing.
Oh yeah.
And Besha is just like looking over knives and like just testing the weight of knives.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Hellas and point over to Besha.
Actually, I'm sorry. And she takes the knife out of Besha's hand like a child, you know, like a mum child. Like, give me that.
Just like, bam.
Yeah.
No.
You have time for boys later.
Yeah.
I don't say that. That's kind of.
Yeah. So yeah, she just yeah. Besha just like, oh okay, and just goes back to looking at the floor. she keeps stealing glances at the knives. And just like. So yeah.
All right.
What the fucking hell is that?
Sounds like a mouse wheel. Or a frog. What is that? I don't know.
I think it's just my fan making noise. My actual fan obviously doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Just hit it. Let's deal with it.
David Smock fan.
I mean, I went to the school of the Fawns the Fawn School of Technology. It doesn't work. Hit it.
Okay, so what you guys want to do? Are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to talk because if my internet goes again, then you know.
Dan was talking. Can you not hear him?
No, I can't. No.
Oh.
Oh.
All right, he's refreshing.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Sorry. I was chatting away then. Yeah, I probably asked Decimus whether he'd heard anything back from his messengers about the state of Castle Wolfspire and anything else that's happened in Saga while we've been gone.
These pretty much are the messengers.
I figure that we have Sia's people who are chatting, and then we have our own people. So I'd probably head to the Longhouse so we can kind of get all the reports in order and see what we're looking at.
Yeah, I'd probably just help you with that. Go over the maps, and see what we need to do. I'd probably get a good band of my men and make sure that the money is appropriately kind of guarded and stored and hidden away from everything. So I'd probably be busy with that while everyone's sorting out their affairs at this stage.
Okay.
I don't know if you'd suggest somewhere, Decimus. Like you know your establishments better than I do, and even the Longhouse. I reckon you'd know better than I would.
I think the Longhouse is mostly full of people who are very loyal to us.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for the most part, keeping it in and around there is our best bet.
Okay.
And we have good reason to be there as well. So it's not like
Yeah.
It just we're there, the money's there, and when we figure this out, then we can start to move it.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'll probably be busy with that while Sai's having her conversation and Decimus is sorting out his reports and everything.
Yeah, I mean, Decimus, you get a floor plan of Castle Wolfspire, but it's hard to make anything out. You can see it's got 2 floors. It's got a great hall. It's got and it's massive. It's huge. You could easily fit all 800 of your men in there and room to spare, basically. And it was created basically on the bones of an old obliterated mountain that is no longer around. Yes, that's pretty much it. That's all the information you can really glean from this.
Do we have an idea of what kind of money would take to work on getting that thing repaired?
No, not at all. You need a professional sapper to come in there and look at that for you.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna look over, see who I can find that we can trust. I'm gonna ask. Well, I don't think Shokan really knows much about building people. I think his friends are usually in the other side of that department, the wrecking people. So I'm gonna call some of the merchants that I have that deal more in tools or deal with the blacksmiths and stuff, and see, or stonemasons, and send out messengers to see if I can get some of those people to come to the Longhouse, and we can figure out what and all the different reports I have from people going in, and this, what state some of the stuff looks at, and just kind of form a group that has some idea of what they're going into, and then send them to the castle to take a look at it.
Okay.
I'd also want to ask Shokan what he thinks about how he thinks that Akarad would react to us taking over that. Now, I don't foresee a huge amount of difficulty because they don't particularly mind having mercenary companies here, and us using an abandoned building as a base of operation should be fine. But I mostly want to know if we should say anything to Akarad before we do it. Send a message.
Shakan basically just shrugs and says, "I doubt Big Man will have any issue." He just says, "Maybe send a letter whilst you're taking it, just respectfully saying you're going to take it off his hand. He doesn't need it, and it's just a ruin. And you can safeguard trade on the Saga Strait." He shrugs. But he seems really relaxed since the last session. He seems really content at the moment, and happy.
He's got a good fight under his belt.
He's had a nice fight. And then the other thing I really wanted to look at is what kind of logistics I'd be looking at for running, the merchant company from the castle. Okay.
Most of the stuff you told me about, your agents aren't going to know unless they can get into Castle Wolfspire.
Yeah.
And
it's more about just the actual distance between the two, between Saga and the castle.
Oh, it's right as it says on the map. It says right there. It's it's just over a strait of water. It's closer than Geskar is. Closer to Kale's Cottage. You can see it. You can see it from the city.
Okay, then that's kind of what I was getting at, because it's I wasn't sure how much of the city actually extended in this direction, or where harbors were for these things. But if you can see it, then that'll work. It's not going to take the better. It's going to take. It's only a short period for me to get messages across. That's kind of the thing.
Okay. Okay, that's cool.
And so I'd organize a party to head out there, and I'd let the others know I was doing this because I figured they'll be interested in this as well.
Yeah, I'd like to come along. I'd like to do a bit of quick shopping before we go. Just one thing.
Okay.
Just one thing.
Yeah.
Is it shiny?
It is shiny. It's a shiny new axe, if possible.
Okay.
I just want a Calvalan axe before we head off.
That's fine. Yeah, you go ahead and buy it.
Yeah, it's just a tier 2 weapon, so
Yeah.
I'll just
Go ahead and buy it.
this one. Also, I'll head off with you, Decimus. I'm happy to do that. I don't want to bring.
Just sorry. One more question out of character, Dean.
Yep.
What's the elements of the girl that I'm teaching?
The elements of the what?
The channeling, the binding elements that she uses. I just
Mainly fire.
we never discussed mainly fire.
Mainly fire. Yeah. You get a sense
Has
she's quite an angry person.
Has she gotten a second element yet?
No.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay.
She's the opposite element for me. Interesting. But yeah. All right.
Would you
So,
like to come along, Sire? Would you like to come along?
How far are you guys going?
Just
I missed
the
Wolfspire.
The castle is visible from the city.
Oh, okay. Castle Wolf. Because you were talking about Wolfspire and Kale's watch at the same time. Okay, yeah, I'll go.
Okay.
I would like to see a castle.
Oh.
You want to see the castle?
Yes.
Castle.
All right. So you guys just head out then, and finally, the thing I bought, like, fucking 6 months ago for this whole campaign. We're gonna get to see.
Is it a shiny new map?
It might be a shiny new map.
It's a shiny new map. Guys.
We love shiny maps. It's great.
Okay, let's see. Cool. So we're gonna go over here. So you guys, our storm starts basically. It gets very, very, very stormy, and the wind is lashing against the actual island of Wolfspire there, and you guys can see the fortress as you crest the last hill, and you can see it looming as you get closer and closer and closer, and then you can see the actual fortress. Now, when you see the picture, there are no men here, so you're gonna have to imagine this place without any fires or people in it or anything like that. It's empty. There are no fires burning, you know, and one of the walls is quite decrepit, but apart from that, it's as it is. Okay.
It is not currently under siege.
No.
Got it.
Right, ready? You are literally where the people are at the bottom of the picture. So,
Okay.
this is the opening to Castle Wolfspire. As you can see,
Very shiny.
yeah. So it's raining, and you guys are just there, just like, oh, like it's one of those like you've been seeing these guys' heads for ages, wondering what they are, on the horizon, and even in the city, like, oh, I wonder what that is over there. And you know, now you can see there's literally it's a huge gargantuan fortress basically. You know, whoever built that was clearly compensating with something. Just absolutely amazing.
And now we are.
And now you are.
I
Yes.
was just thinking the same thing.
Yes.
They're compensating for their lack of friends.
Yes.
So they had to make some giant friends of their own.
Yes. So, you guys can cross. There is a ferry down there, and the sea isn't as rough as is there. It's just raining quite a lot and it's quite windy, but the sea isn't as tumultuous as it looks. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just going to turn to Decimus and say, Decimus, can you not just, fly us across there or something? Would that not be easier?
How wide is this strait?
As it looks.
Just like in feet.
About 500 feet.
Yeah, no, I can't teleport that far. I was like, it was very tempting for me, just like, you know what? Teleport across. Just be over there.
See you, suckers.
Exactly. And just kind of just walk in. But the binding jump is only like 100 feet.
Oh,
That's a shame. Yeah.
No, Darth was saying it as though it was something that, was a little bit ridiculous and you couldn't possibly do. But he wanted to say you in kind of a, I
was like, I mean, no. That's a little excessive, I think.
I just think you like boats. That's what it is. You see. So, okay, lead the way, Decimus. And I'll let you.
I'm just not even sure how to respond to that. So I'm just gonna be like, okay. Anyways, so we head to the ferry,
Okay.
We've all had pretty bad experiences with boats, so I don't
I
know
was
if
gonna
any
say,
of us
like,
like boats right now.
A good quarter of the time that I've spent with either of you two has been on a boat.
And about half that time about half the time that we should have been on boats, we were in the water.
I take it you guys only brought, like, you didn't bring all 800 men here, I'm taking.
No, we're bringing just like Jonas, a couple of men, some engineers, some sappers, just people so we can kind of assess what we're getting.
Okay.
Yeah, like a dozen maybe.
Okay. Well, they cannot fit on the ferry, but the ferry can come back for them. So what Sir Jonas says is, I'm thinking you guys head on across. We'll make our observations from here. We'll get sketches done of the whole fortress. We'll make our way around in the boat and go around the island just to make sure that there are no other walls that are crumbling or anything like that. Once we've done that, we'll land and we'll come find you inside.
Very well.
Sounds good. We'll make sure that no stragglers have been, or no, was it, people of ill repute are, hanging out in here.
Yeah. Okay. So, as you're going towards the place, you hear like a low wailing sound. It actually sounds really, ominous. Like it's like something's just, crying. And I want you all to roll perception for me, please.
I was going to get it last, David, but I couldn't see one on there, so I have to get one later. So
Oops.
My perception is 4, I believe.
What's my perception?
I pass. Mine is 7.
Okay. So Saya, the other two are like readying the weapons, and you're going for your blade, and then you just take your hand away and go, huh? And you look up here, and you can see that there are holes cut in the faces of these statues, and they're all screaming. So when the wind buffets them, they actually make this wailing sound, this like really demoralizing.
That is so creepy.
Sound.
It's kind of
And
awesome.
I actually say that, and I point up at the statue.
Yeah, it's actually kind of like a whoa sound, like going all the way over the bay.
Yeah.
I'm going to like
impressive.
visibly shiver.
I'm impressed by the architecture.
Yeah. I'm impressed and creeped out at the same time.
Does this look like it was built by Valerians? Because it sounds like it was built by Valerians. Sounds like something they would do.
Yeah.
It's a cackling evil dudes.
Yeah.
We shall make our statues sing.
And by sing, we mean scream.
Did you know we're based on the Romans and the Persians? Okay, so you guys actually make your way over, and I get to show you the first map of Wolfspire. Yes.
You're so excited.
Yes.
Look at him
Yes,
go.
my little sable-haired friends. Look at them.
What?
People.
Wait, it keeps going?
My little sable hair.
Yeah, it keeps going. This is one half of the first floor.
Holy crap. You've been waiting for this for a long time.
You thought Stormhold was big. Let me just fucking... This is ridiculous. This is what... Oh. So you guys, you moor your little boat down here. So just draw yourselves down there.
Okay.
Alright.
Whenever you're,
How big are we?
Oh,
That big?
yeah,
Probably.
about that big, yeah. I mean, you need to see.
Why are you on the ground?
Yeah, that's where the ship is.
That's where our boat came in.
So,
The bridge is broken at the moment. You need to fix the bridge.
Okay. So there will be a bridge, though. That's nice.
There will be a bridge, yes.
I can't drag my guy, so I'm having to use the arrow keys.
Okay.
So if I'm jumping around, that's why.
Yeah, I don't think I can either.
It's okay. Just ping the map where you want to be. Like, we're not in combat, so you don't need to, like, I am here, so.
I just assume that I'm in the general area of wherever my thing is.
Okay.
That's
fine.
If I'm like on the edge of a wall, then I'm probably not in the wall. Oh no, I can actually get there. Okay, that works.
If you hold down Alt while you're doing it, you can move it in smaller increments. So.
Oh god, why have you done this? This could be awesome.
Okay. Okay. So,
Sorry.
what you guys want to do since you're here?
I'd like to enter, if that's all right.
Yeah, there are
I'd like to use the
huge,
grandiose entrance as well.
huge brass doors that are rusted and faded. And with some force, I'm not going to make you do a check. With some force, you managed to open one of the smaller portcullises in it, and it's like you know in Durham Castle where it's got the two big doors and there's like a smaller door. That's literally what it is. It's like two massive doors, but it's like a smaller door and the massive doors to get through.
Do I even fit through the door?
Yes, yes. It's made for people in mail and plate and stuff.
Okay.
Do I even fit through the door?
You don't quite fit through the door in Durham Castle, okay?
Well, I certainly don't. I have to go in sideways and like duck into it. It's really awkward.
If you're going diagonally, it's weird. Right, anyway.
Yeah,
We're inside.
it goes up to my it goes up to the bottom of my chest.
Right. So when you're walking down this corridor here, you're seeing in the alcoves there are statues. The names have worn away over time, but there are a few dragons here in statue form.
God, I was like, see you
just,
guys.
yeah, that are just like standing there glaring down at people as they're walking past. And as you're walking past, their eyes sort of go on fire. It's like flames start coming up from their eyes.
Oh, I thought you were going to say they start following you.
No.
Like,
Their eyes just actually light up and go on fire as you walk past.
Can I do a
That's
biting
really
check?
cool.
And they illuminate all of the way, basically, for you. You just go through.
I'm gonna do a biting check and kind of see if I can figure out how they did that. That sounds pretty awesome, and I want to replicate it later.
Do a binding check, yeah?
It's Hogwarts, David. That's the thing.
Yeah, you get like this. This is just a really low level binding, but it's really ancient as well. So it's basically binding architecture. So weaving the binding into buildings and stuff, which is not heard of nowadays since the fall of the First Empire. No one's built like this.
I'm going to be spending a lot of time studying this building and seeing if I could replicate this.
Okay.
Because a lot of the old Valenrethan buildings were torn down in the various wars.
Yeah.
If I recall. And so not much. I don't think much of the binding architecture would be left in that area.
No. So this will be, from what you know of history and stuff, like this could literally be the only example of First Empire architecture in the entire East, and maybe
it's just sitting there.
maybe even Kaldanian as well. I mean the Winged Palace in Kea Vale is a Valenrethian, and so is a lot of Morvaid City in Kaldanian. But apart from that, there's not really anything, especially nothing like this. One thing does catch your eye though, whoever's in the front there, I think it's Darthus, is there is a massive, huge statue here in the green part here. And it is a black wolf, basically. And the wolf is just prowling forward, looking really angry. And as you get closer, you can see it's made of obsidian. So it's just glinting and the rain's shining off it and stuff. And you can actually, as soon as you get closer to it, you can actually feel a pulse coming from within it. And there's a really wispy blue light swimming inside of the rock, just swimming inside of it, and it illuminates the walls and stuff and makes it look like when you're in an aquarium and you can see you go into the tunnel of water and you can see on the floor all of the water ripples and stuff. That's what it's like on the walls from inside.
Tiny check
gets the Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can sense that obsidian like this is not actual obsidian. It's stuff that can be used to house vital essences. That's probably what's inside. But it must be the vital essence of something massive because it's quite a big statue.
Darthus gets the urge to bow to this. He doesn't quite know why, but he does so. He gets down to one knee and bows to it.
Do you have any binding magic, binding stuff, Darthus, or are you?
None whatsoever. No.
Okay, no. So you don't feel anything, but Decimus, you feel very imperious. An imperious acknowledgement, yes, finally someone acknowledges me, that sort of thing.
I'm gonna kind of look at him curiously and then And I'm just going to kind of gesture for Saya to do the same, and I'll follow suit.
But the thing in the whatever's there is feeling like this is bloody ironic that one of you in particular is bowing to me is bloody ironic. That's
Did I feel that before I gestured to Saya and to myself?
No. So whilst you're bowing, the feeling just gets bigger, and then it just dissipates. The thing gets bored, whatever it is.
Huh.
I'm just gonna be like kind of muttering on my breath. Interesting, very interesting, and like looking at the statue and looking around the walls. And I'm just basically, I'm like a kid in a candy shop right now. I'm just like, this place is awesome and exciting, and I'm gonna have so much fun here.
You can see by the statue there is an obsidian touchstone here. It looks like a long triangular pillar of black stone, just shimmering there.
I'm definitely gonna touch that.
Okay.
You're gonna touch it?
Don't do it.
Okay, so
Definitely. I'm gonna look. Is there any inscriptions on it?
yes.
Okay, then I'll read it before I touch it.
Okay, they're all in ancient Valmrethian, and it just says, "This stone was presented here by Valmrethian magisters under the orders of," and it's scribbled away. It doesn't really say anything. And then it says, "to preserve the memories of the castle itself." And and that's basically what it says. But when you touch it, you all get a vision, like because you're all standing close by to each other. And you see the castle as it is, and you see a massive. It goes back in time. It takes you all the way back in time, and you see a huge, fantastically large dragon tearing through the mountain that used to stand here. And it's annihilating lots of smaller dragons and tearing them apart. And then there's an army that's resisting it, and it's just tearing that apart as well. And it actually it's turned around and it sees you, and it's like it's actually seeing you. And as it sees you, because it's right in this courtyard, and as it sees you guys get a flashback to the dreams you keep having of something being underneath the water and reaching for you. And when you guys look at the scaled hand of this gargantuan dragon, which is literally the size of this entire island, you realise that it's the same. It looks like the same thing. And when it glowers at you with these like lidless, flaming amber eyes, you can see that when they're underneath the water, they actually look like they're steaming when they're coming for you, basically. And yeah, it just yeah, this is basically it. And you guys are thrown back into your bodies and just looking around at each other, dumbfounded.
Well, that raises more questions than it answers, really. Yeah, I don't think Darthus would react other than like appearing to be visibly shaken. I don't know whether Decimus will say.
Decimus is once again muttering, "Interesting, very, very interesting." he's just like, this is old binding magic. He's just, this is incredible, and he's a little discombobulated from the vision of the dragon, especially since he with the dreams he's worried that whatever it was that was back then, the dragon might be active again since you were dreaming of it with all the Tempest blood stuff. So he's gonna kind of make a note of it and go back through the book and see what he can find out about the dragon. But he's there's too much in this place for him to kind of look at and explore for him to really be able to worry about anything for too long.
Okay. So, what do you guys want to do?
So,
I'd like to go up these stairs.
Sam has a really bad feeling about the wolf statue, but I don't think Saya would pick up on that because she doesn't feel anything. I think Decimus is the only one who feels anything from it, right?
And I think the only thing Saya will be saying is, wow, there's lots of places, little nooks and crannies for me to, I could really fit a torture chamber in here somewhere. That sort of thing.
A torture chamber?
Yeah. That's information.
TMI.
I mean, you know about what she's done at this point. You've seen her practicing torture.
Yeah,
I What? When did I torture anybody?
No, because he's seen your past life. Or your whole life.
Oh, right.
I've seen a flashback of my whole life, haven't I? I just like to put it out of my mind, Decimus.
I don't know. I'm not much for torture, though. I'm for killing quickly.
Yeah, you got your little friends to do the torturing for you, I suppose.
I don't know. I think Besha would probably like that, but
Maybe a little too much.
yeah.
Have you brought your apprentice with you? Or
What?
Would you have sent your apprentices to take a look at this place?
Well, I was thinking about it, but there's still only level 1.
okay, good idea. That's fine. Sorry.
Alright,
So, yeah,
so
I'm actually going to do. I'm actually going to just do a binding check because I've kind of like at this point I'm starting to remember. Oh right, we were supposed to make sure that there was nobody here, so that there's no surprises jumping out when our engineers pop in. So I'm going to do a binding check, see if I can just sense any living people on here, just so we can kind of not be surprised when somebody jumps out of this.
you pass, and you feel absolutely nothing at all. Absolutely nothing at all. You feel a vague, sort of presence below you, but you could be rats for all you know. It's not really. Yeah.
So well, I mean, I'll probably we'll go around a bit and see what we can find.
Okay.
And at some point though, I'm going to recommend we head down to the dungeon. Are there torches anywhere that just left
on the
here,
walls,
or they've all rotted away?
Yeah, they're all rotted away. They're not really the sconces for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, Darthus, when you're in there, you see this is like just a normal interior room, but it's got it's like a guardhouse. So this is where a lot of guards would be. Say if anyone came into the keep, they could fire at them from here. They could regroup in here. And as you're walking through these rooms, you see that there are the spaces for bedding and spaces for storage and spaces for all utility rooms basically are here. For weapons and things like that. And I'm just gonna say you guys can walk just to speed things up because you could be here all day, but like all these rooms here, they're just all storage rooms, all completely empty. Do you see these things here? This is where you can pour boiling oil down on people. So you've got to
murder holes.
Up the stairs.
Murder holes.
They're all murder holes, all things you can shoot arrows out of, and these are all guard complexes, and and there is a hole up here. This is like a little hall for people to dine and stuff. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. You can walk up if you want. It extends this way. So
yeah, I was gonna keep going, just kind of seeing what else I can see.
Okay.
All right.
Just so you know how fucking gargantuan this place is, I'm gonna stick you all in the second half of the first floor. Let's just look at the second half of the first floor. That's it. That's actually what it is. So we're looking at the main.
Oh, I know.
You guys are looking around, and this is the main hall. So this is where all of the big decisions are made back in the day, and this is where all of the the big muckamucks go. All these sconces on the walls, they light up as you go past as well. And they are, and they're basically, these are like pillars that go up of Corinthian style, but they have dragons actually twisting around them into the actual marble, and they are looking down at you, like the heads come out of the top, and they look down at you, and then their eyes blaze with fire as you walk past, to light the room up.
I'm definitely gonna see. I'm gonna see if I can replicate this.
Yeah,
this is so cool.
There is a kitchen area, which is back here, where the kitchens are, and like all of these places that you're seeing, they're quick access rooms. So these are all the barracks, and places where men can stay and sleep and things. And obviously there are things up here. These are basically portcullises and different things, guard places, guard towers, and you can just see the bottom half of what you're looking at down here. There's like a training yard here behind the statue, where men can train and go through drills and stuff, and Yeah, there's more rooms than you can shake a stick at. Basically, it's a massive complex, and there's 2 little storage areas here as well on either side.
Nice.
Is there anything here, Dean?
No, there's nothing there. You can tell there used to be a grand throne here, but it's rotted away, and it has lots of dragons on it, and it has a Valenrethian script all over it as well, but it's faded away.
Sad.
Mm.
Sad to see the glory of this place that has gone into disrepute, Decimus. Don't you think?
Well, time passes, and new people come and go, and I think it might be time for this place to come again.
Poetry.
Sounds like some of the staircases lead down. Is that right?
Yes, they do.
I'd like to go down,
That one.
please.
I'm gonna warn them. I think there's something living down there. It might just be rats, but I would, be aware of what's happening around you as we head down.
You guys, there is another pillar just here, next to just behind the throne as it used to be.
Shiny.
You can touch that if you want, or you can leave it. It's up to you.
I'll do a binding check before I touch it, but I'm probably gonna. If it
Every
looks
time
like
you go to touch something, I reenact the Aladdin Cave of Wonders scene.
hey, the wolf face did not tell me to touch nothing but the throne. So I figured it would have told me something along those lines.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, I'm gonna do a binding check to see if because I imagine it looks particularly impressive. So
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Yeah.
oh, that's a failure.
Oh,
So you don't sense anything. You wouldn't know you failed because you're not casting the
So
spell.
yeah, so I'm gonna kind of go look at the there's some sort of inscriptions on it. So I'd probably try to look closely at them and kind of touch it, trying to see if I can trace it with my finger to see what they say.
You can't see anything in this one. What you can see is that the script that you can make up on the other one, but down near the bottom where water's touched it and everything's sluiced away, it's not there anymore.
Okay. But I can't really get anything off of it. Anything useful.
Have you touched it yet?
Yeah. No. I'm as I'm kind of trying to read it. I probably try to see if I can touch it to get a clear idea of what some of the
The
letters say.
second you touch it, you all go into another vision. You're all pulled back in time again.
I'm surprised no one's told me to stop touching things.
I know. They probably will after this one. But anyway, you see the massive black dragon. It's a black dragon with a white fringe to all of its plates. So it's like a huge, almost miasmic dragon.
I think Saga had to refresh.
Oh, okay.
You there, Sam?
Nope. It's down there.
yeah, man.
Okay.
I'm listening.
And her thing flickered and then now it's black.
Okay. I should probably refresh as well. Give me a second. And she says roll 20 is being weird for her, so she's trying to get back in.
Okay.
It's new shiny stuff. It's so exciting.
I know. No, this is not.
That's
You haven't
what
seen nothing yet. This is 1/5 of the place.
There's a basement and at least 2 floors.
Yeah.
Or can we see how many floors up it goes? There's 2 big floors, or is it several floors?
It's 2 big floors.
Okay.
There we are.
Hello.
There we go.
Okay.
Alright,
So I touched the pillar and we're getting another vision.
yes, the other vision is basically you see the same massive black dragon. And again, when I say massive, it's the size of this island. And it is black scales, like oil scales, coloured. And it ripples like oil as well. And it has white edgings on the just like a miasmic dragon that is just like folding over itself almost. And it comes to the top of the mountain, where a man's standing there, and you have a name burned into your head by the name of Cal Ravend, which is this name here. It's Cal. I don't know if any of you did any research into religions or anything before we started the campaign, but if you did, then your character did as well. And Cal Ravend uses his own soul. He's standing there with his robes around him and his army is desolated and dead all around him. All of his friends, all of his family, all of his relatives, everyone's dead. But he's on the same power level as this dragon you're sensing. But he uses his own soul to trap the essence of this dragon within the statue at the base of this mountain. And the mountain explodes outwards, killing Cal Ravend, or at least sending his spirit screaming away. And when all the dust has settled, only the dragon remains screaming within the depths of this obsidian prison at the center of this island. And that's the end of that vision.
So I'm gonna have more respect for the presence I felt in the statue. I know what it is. I'm just gonna like, still kind of mumbling. It's like, so that's what that was. Interesting.
Darth is just like visibly pale now, and very quiet.
And I'm just kind of like, I just start meandering outwards. I did mention that there was I felt something downstairs. I'm just gonna kind of meander through and probably head downstairs. Because now I'm more curious as to what this presence I felt could be. Because it might not just be rats.
Cool. So, we are in...
If you mistook a dragon spirit for a rat, I'm gonna give you a lot of shit.
Saya, you go downstairs as well?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
So,
Oh.
these are
This
is the first part of the dungeons.
Oh my god.
So, yeah. I did a thing, guys. Okay.
What have you done?
So, yeah, you come down here, and you are here at the moment.
Oh.
So.
Okay.
You don't need to draw yourselves, I'm just saying this is where you are.
Where? I didn't see the.
I like to keep
We're up
big.
top.
Just up there. No.
Okay. It's like there's so much ping. Or
Again,
there's so much to ping.
there seems to be nothing down here. Okay, so you go walking through the place, and as you're walking through, you keep seeing actual parts of different stories are etched onto the walls and things like that. And Darthus, you actually see another pillar standing on this stone here.
I was just going to ask you what's on there. It looks very curious. So.
Yeah, there's another pillar standing on there.
All right, I'm going to wait for Decimus to touch the bloody thing. Because he says he wants to do it. So I'm just going to wait there and motion towards this place. Just hold my hand out, as though to offer him the way.
He's like looking. He's going slowly through it because he's looking at all the inscriptions and stuff as he's going.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just sigh as we walk past, like when you eventually get to me.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of keep going and looking at all the stuff, and it's like kind of sees you and gestures towards the like, huh, interesting. So he's gonna take a look at it, before he touches it again, do a binding check. He's gonna be a bit more careful about this one because the last one he didn't feel anything, and then it happened.
Okay, 1 second.
So he's not.
Don't panic. Like this isn't anything bad. I'm just trying to figure something out.
And I passed this one.
Just.
You did certainly, but you passed this one.
So very just.
Shut up, fucking thing. Not you, Dan. The music. Shut up.
I mean, Dan as well, but.
I mean, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Just
okay. So, see the people watching on thing. It's going to be no surprise whatsoever whenever anything happens in this session at all. But anyway, so yeah, you touch the pillar, and another vision races into your mind.
Did I see anything with a binding check before I did it?
No.
So this is kind of like beyond what I could deal with.
So thousands of years later, you're getting the sense that it's thousands of years later. in the vision, and you see the ships of the First Empire, the triremes, the massive warships and triremes of the First Empire, beckoning across the sea, and a triumphant warlord at the front of this army, coming from Kildanian. So this empire already holds half the world. Now it's coming to sweep away Menshai and Gensen, and it does. Sarpedon leads lots of battles over here, and you actually see Sarpedon as well, and no one's ever seen him really. He's very much an Alexander the Great. So imagine that you actually get to see Alexander the Great, and that's literally what he is. He's blonde, very tall. He just looks like a hero. Basically, he looks like in the guide. He's wearing the same armor, golden armor with like dragons inlaid all over it, and he has a sword strapped to his side. Sword over his back, over his shoulder, and he just whips it out of the holster, and it's also gold as well, with like all inlaid gems. And you see him cleaving through people on the battlefield, and finally killing the Emperor of Menshai in single combat, which actually happens. And you get to hear what two weave blades sound like when they're ringing against each other as well, which is almost ear splitting. And then years and years afterwards, he's looking around on a map somewhere. Might be in Valenreath, might be in Menshai. And you can see he's got grey hair. He's looking around, and he points to a spot on the map, which you can tell is where you are now. And he comes here with his engineers, and says, he turns around to them, says, puts his hands on one of the men's shoulders, and he goes, Titus, build me one last fortress. The greatest you can. You will have all of my supplies, everything that I can give you. Just build it. And Titus just looks at him with it's almost like his tears are coming into his eyes, and he just nods. And then they look at the place. They look at the and he says, when Titus turns to him, says, years later, the place is built, and they're looking at it as it's being built, almost finished. And Sarpedon looks visibly ill now, and he looks to Titus, and Titus says, what shall we name it? And he says, it's to guard me and my heirs while we sleep, like a wolf. Let's call it Wolfspire, for that thing we found at the centre. And Titus just nods, and he goes, a good name, sir, a good name. And then it fades away again, and that's the last that we see of the actual thing, of the actual vision.
And Darthus is completely awestruck. He's actually very loosely descended from Sarpedon, and being able to see him like no one living ever has, is something he can't really get his head around at the moment. So he's grateful to you, Decimus, for touching that pillar in a weird sort of way. So.
That particular one.
Yeah. Are you muttering anything this time, Decimus, or? Yes.
Well, I know that his line, Darthus's line, is descended from Sarpedon. That's part of the thing. So and kind of glancing at him, and then just kind of interesting, and then continuing to wander around this place.
Is that all you can say?
I'm kind of overwhelmed by this place. This place is this place is this is like Disneyland for Decimus. There's even rides.
Like those weird comedy movies.
Let's go on that one again.
Decimus is just walking around and then touching things, and then just seeing visions, and then just saying, "Interesting." And then we cut to the next scene where you find another one, and we see another vision. Honestly, David. Right, where do you want to go next? Oh.
Well, I'm gonna check out these rooms.
Okay, and you see there's inlaid obsidian to the floor, and it just shimmers with a blue light.
I'm gonna do a binding check on this.
Okay, go on.
You were about to say interesting again, weren't you?
You don't know. You have no idea what you're talking about. You don't know, man. You don't know my life.
You you can sense it's the same presence in here that's in the wolf statue upstairs, and in fact, the obsidian runs through the floor like veins all throughout this keep, and and the obsidian statue is like the actual nexus of the entire place, basically.
Ah.
Well, that's good.
So the presence I felt below is probably, I would reason out, was probably the same, is just a continuation of this presence that's going to be through the whole thing. At least that's how Decimus would reason it out. It's like, I was feeling the continuation of the dragon's spirit.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So he's going to continue to look around and, well, continue to wander. I think, yeah. Well, since Logan's gone that way, he would follow Logan.
Okay.
If he wanted to go to the left. God.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was just.
That's okay. He's just gonna follow. He wouldn't have said anything. He's kind of like, sort of following and like staring at all the inscriptions and stuff.
So, are you going with him?
Yeah, I just can't move. There we are.
Okay. So you guys, there's nothing here. I'm just going to say it now. These are all like alcoves to stop people from escaping or trying to attack. You know, so it's like you can close off all the choke points and stuff. Let's go to the next part of the dungeons.
Yay.
Yeah.
Can we have a transition like theme song? Like
No.
theme song or something?
You don't get.
No? Why not?
You don't get transition.
You know?
So you guys are here, and you're coming down. These dungeons are actually cells now. So remember, down in the dungeons, these things over here are actually cells. So.
Okay, good stuff.
And this in here, when you go in, you can see these are mines, and they actually have pure obsidian down here, and a lot of other precious metal. There's gold and gems and things like that.
Okay.
And there's thing down here, just like you find obsidian at the bottom of this pool here, 'cause that's where it's formed. So that's when you get down there and you can see like chips of obsidian and things like that. And then there's gold inlaid in the walls, and moonstone and malachite and all sorts of things down there. And yeah, obviously there's like a torture room here, which goes out onto the mines, and there's another torture room down here. And there is stairs going up into the main keep, which are locked. And there's two holding cells, big holding cells here as well. And Saya, you're like, thinking, oh, very professional. When you're looking over all this stuff, you've studied all this. You're not really a torturer yourself, but you have to know the art. You know what I mean? You have to know,
Right.
Just in case. It's one of those Black Lotus, just in case you ever need to. Here's how you peel somebody's fingernails off. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that's literally, what you're like. Oh, this is very, I can see. So. What do you guys want to do?
Oh, is there a path up?
No.
Okay, so then back the way we came, I think, to try to, because there was that left path.
Okay.
That's just easier than dragging it. Is there a fall? Yeah, I'm gonna head to that left path over there.
Okay. You don't see anything for a time until all of these pillars have wolf heads on them, and they all start burning too when you walk to them, and they burn with a blue light, not a red one. And you see figures form in the mist in front of you. That comes down here.
Finding check.
Yeah.
Finding check. Oh.
So. This is what they look like. They're about 6'5", 6'6", and yeah, they're standing there with not really looking at anything. They're just standing there looking at you. And
I'm gonna draw my axe and my shield.
Yeah, they basically say, "We are the guardians of the earthly remains of Sarpedon. And you cannot pass, and you cannot hold what is his. You cannot hold this place in his name with his blessing unless you prove yourself worthy in combat. and without saying anything else, they just start walking towards you.
I'm going to draw my awesome weapon.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'll take a step forward in front of the other
The second I saw anything appear, I drew my weapon.
That's fine. Yeah. I don't. I'm not a dick. I don't say, "Oh, you must now spend a turn drawing one."
No, I know. I'm just
Are you-
saying, like, a character thing. Like, if Saya sees shadows jumping out of the nowhere, she's gonna get ready to fight.
Okay.
Really, I'm normally alright with them, to be honest. The creepy shadow just develops.
One of them, well, two
This
of
way?
them crash into Darthus straight away, and two of them go to walk around Darthus's combat, but you can't affect them because they can only walk. They're not running. So if you have any abilities that can draw them in, you can do that if you wish.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point, actually. Let me, I think I believe I do, but it is a new one. Let me just, on page 16. Where are we? I do not. This one doesn't have one now.
Okay.
I can. Let me just roll against my charisma. Oh, okay, fine. I can issue orders to you guys. I don't know what I'd say to you. I'd probably tell Saya to, like, at the first opportunity. So you can do that, and then
I'm just all this. So this suddenly makes a lot of sense. Jump
That
behind
sounds
the
like a
pillars.
great idea.
and I probably me. So yeah, you can both do that as a free action because I issued you orders. If you want to follow it, you can do it as a free action. If not, you can just stay where you are.
Yeah, why not? I'll
I'll be behind you.
I'll try
And
and
like 7 feedback.
I'll try and hide behind something.
Cool.
Okay. Each of these guys only gets one attack, so they're like wanging into you with both of their blades at once. But I'm going to do them one at a time because each of them has the instant death special rule.
Lovely.
Oh my god.
So this guy, first guy hits, D100. Second guy hits, but you can try and block them. Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah,
I like
fine.
this shit.
And yeah, so you get a full combat round on one of them, and you block the other one.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
2 crits.
Oh my god.
Okay, well, shit. You literally just catch him completely unawares, this thing, and it's a lot more powerful than you thought. So
Yeah.
as soon as he smacked into your shield, you ride the impact, and then lever him upward, sort of thing, and then you ram your blade into his stomach, and then you let him fall onto it. You know what I mean? You let his own weight against him, basically. And so you basically just kill the first one. It dissipates and explodes in like in violet light.
Okay.
Oh shit.
So that's the first one, and the second one, you kill him as well. So basically, the violet light knocks the other one backwards a little bit, and you turn around and you just basically slam the edge of your blade into this part of his face here, and he explodes as well. So it's like an A-win, I am no man part, and you just like smack it into his face, and then it explodes everywhere.
I just kind of like peek around the pillar. Like, did something happen? Like,
I'm just going to turn to you and shrug. Darth is literally going to turn to you and shrug. He's not really sure what happened. So
Yeah, there's still 2 there, and they're coming for the other 2. But
I thought there were only 2. Okay, so there are 4.
But now they can't see them, so they just turn around at Darthus again. And I'll do the D100. Okay, and roll 100. Cool.
You're so dead.
Okay, so I need to roll.
That's what you go through. So hit and crit.
Nope, nothing happens there. Roll 4d100. You're fine. No, you're fine. The 6 isn't a double. It does state in the rules you need a 6. You need a double, not a
Crit.
single.
I see.
Yeah.
Crit.
Needs a double, not a crit. So. So that they luckily for you, you can even feel the power of these force blades just like coming within inches of like slicing you, and you know if that happened, like your soul would just be obliterated, and so you're like, oh, and you step backwards a little bit, and then sort of like roll your shoulders, like getting ready for the next round.
Okay. Sire, I think you'd be next in the.
Okay.
So
Well, while they're distracted with Darthus, I'm going to try and get in a sneak attack on the one closest to me.
Just so people know, if I'd have rolled a double there, Decimus will, Darthus, sorry, will be instantly dead, which is how instant
Awkward.
works.
That's scary. Okay,
So,
so
up your attack.
So what are you going to do, Sam?
I'm rolling a speed check to see if I get a sneak attack.
Sneak behind one of them? Yeah, that's alright. Go for it.
So
Yeah.
that passes.
Yeah, so you get
Okay.
behind one of them. Yeah.
So I have 4 regular attacks, and then I have 1 offhand, which I haven't been doing this whole time. So they all pass, and one's a crit.
Okay.
So with my main hand, the damage is so it's 20 for my regular attacks, 60 for my crit, and then 12 for my offhand.
Didn't you get anything for being in sneaking?
Sneaking.
Oh, sneaking
Sneaky.
is let's see. Any attack made when sneaking is a critical hit.
Yeah, there you
So
go.
and then it's a ×4 critical hit for my crit that I rolled.
So that's 60.
Math is fun.
yeah, it is.
So that's
240, 60, 300, 360, 420.
Yeah.
480 damage. So you basically tear through the back of one of them, and all of his vital essence, just like his whole, just escaped through the front of his chest, and the armor just falls over onto his knees, and then down onto the floor, and it spreads dust everywhere with a clang.
Why are you going to get to attack at this rate? Go.
It's your turn now. So
Then no one saw Darthus getting 2 crits straight away. So
No. So, well, I'm going to. What am I going to do? I'm going to throw. I'm going to use ice armor, so that I am harder to kill.
you don't need it. They're not doing damage. If they get a crit on you, you die.
Well, it gives me an extra save.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah. Okay. That's not really how instant death works. Like instant death, you don't get a save. It just if I wound you and then get a crit, you're just dead. There's no save. You're just gone. Your soul is just obliterated.
But
Right.
wouldn't
It's
his save help him not get wounded in the first place, or am I?
Well, this is AN1, so I'm not guessing he has anything.
Oh. No. So I just it's it just gives me an extra save for it, a 3+ save because I'm 10 binding,
That's
4
fine.
armor saves for
Yeah.
damage.
Yeah, I'm just saying, just in case you're gonna waste it. But again, your character wouldn't know that, I guess. So yeah, just roll. Yeah.
So yeah, and I've also got my dodge save, so that works. I have my ice armor up. I'm gonna drop some ice pillars on this last one.
Uh-huh.
Just throw all 5 at him. Fine. So that's 5 at 15 damage each.
Mhm.
So and he does the dodge rolls to see if he gets frozen.
No, he's not gonna do anything like that. He's just gonna stand there.
No, yeah.
I'll do a strength check. How about that to see if I can break through the ice? And I do. He just breaks through the ice.
Yeah, so but he takes 6 times. Can't do the math right now. It's 90 damage.
Yep. Well, they have no flesh to save, so they have no saves. They just take that damage.
Okay.
So
And
yeah,
then-
he just takes damage.
I don't particularly feel like going melee on him, so I'm going to. What am I going to do? Did he? I think I'm just going to do more frost pillars. In all honesty,
Okay.
I'm just going to cast it more times. Ah, shit.
Okay.
very good.
D6.
Okay, that's fine. So that does 3 times damage, actually. That's 270 damage.
Yep, that freezes him in place, and he can't get out of it. And so he literally switches off, like his soul goes back into the stones all the way around. Well, they go back into the pillars that are all around you. So you are now out of combat.
Okay.
Okay.
Good job. Good job, guys.
Very
Sounds like
professional job there. Right.
Very lucky as well.
Very lucky, very professional.
I'm gonna roll to restore some of my binding points. Just might as well.
Mhm.
And yeah, good. At 12, I'm now at 17.
Cool. So, you guys can walk on through here. You basically let you pass. Is that what you're gonna do?
Did their weapons turn to dust?
Yes.
Damn.
And you guys heading through? So you guys basically see...
We lost there.
Oh, did you? You must have. Okay. We'll wait for a second.
Sorry, I pressed backspace.
There you go. So you guys basically see... You hear lots of running water, and you can see lots of twinkling, rushing blue cyan water just glistening off the walls here. And you see something akin to this. It doesn't look exactly like this, because the sarcophagus in the middle is lying flat. But there's a walkway going onto it, and light stretching down. And, yeah, that's it. That's what you see.
Is there any inscriptions?
There are on the sarcophagus, but you can't read them from here.
So I will walk up towards it and do a binding check before I get to it.
Okay. Yeah, do it, yeah.
Okay.
You feel...
Glad I'm not casting a spell.
Yeah, you feel nothing whatsoever. Yeah, you feel nothing whatsoever.
Okay.
Darthus would definitely bow and get to one knee at this stage. I've been informed that this is the resting place of Sarpedon.
Yeah, it does say on the thing. It just says that here is the final resting place of the last dragon of the West. Sarpedon. All of his titles. Emperor of Valenreath. Not Emperor of Valenreath. Lord Protector of Valenreath. Emperor of Menshai. Crown Prince of Gensem. Blah 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 blah. All that is on there, and it's a very simple tomb for a deceptively simple man.
Decimus would show proper respect as well, because being Valenreathian and all.
Yeah, you guys have pretty much been fucking tears at this point. This is Jesus we're talking about, you know what I mean? So, yeah, so, there are even people in the world who deny he even existed, so, this is quite...
Definitely Jesus.
Yeah. So you guys are looking at this thing, and there is, nearby, there is a chest here, and there's a closet here. Not like closet. It's like a lockbox, like a tall lockbox with that light shimmering from inside of it.
I don't know if Decimus would be willing to loot this.
I am afraid to touch anything. Because we just had pillars jump out and try to kill us.
I'm gonna look at read the inscriptions aloud so they can both hear it.
Okay, there's no inscription on the lockbox or the chest.
No, on the sarcophagus.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
is it just
fine.
his name, or is it more to it?
It's his name and all of his accomplishments and deeds and titles.
Okay. There's nothing about the two mysterious boxes?
No.
I think I would after showing proper respect, I'd hesitantly kind of open it to them. But kind of in the old royal style where you'd never, I would always keep my front facing the sarcophagus, kind of like in the, in the old medieval style where you never turn your back on the royalty.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of showing that respect.
Okay.
And keeping my head down as I tenderly open this box.
So you head to the chest and you open it. It's open. It's not locked. And inside, there are a few bits of paper, really old paper, and you are reading one of them. One of them is the deeds to the castle, written by himself in his own hand. This will be worth more than, this will be worth a lot of money. Something Sarpedon actually wrote, and he signed it at the bottom. It's a deed to the castle to whoever finds this note, and gets past my guardians, who are, some of my finest generals in life. you are now lord or lords of the castle. And there is a writ proclaiming that Sarpedon was putting into place a sort of global peacekeeping force named the Obsidian Wolves, after the wolf that was in the top of the keep there. And that whoever claims the fortress would also need to claim the name to claim the fortress with his blessing. And so that's basically all it says in there.
Okay.
The closest person to the thing is the other one is Darthus at the moment. So
I was just about to say I probably would have headed to the lockbox while Decimus was looking through the chest.
Okie dokie. I need to send you a Word document.
Okay.
So I will do that on the internet.
Okay.
To everyone, or
No, just to
Darthus?
He's finding something very shiny in the book.
Yes. There we go. There we go. It should be on your Facebook.
Oh, that's a bit of a great name.
And you find that shimmering in its sheath, in its scabbard, in the and you recognise it's the sword from the actual vision that you had of Sarpedon. So he's there, and it's called Daybringer.
Yep.
Daybringer, or the Light of the West, as it's called.
That sounds familiar. Is that in your lore somewhere?
Daybringer, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew that sounded familiar.
Well, this is awesome.
This is the sword that basically killed two dragons and one Menshai Emperor, and a Crown Prince of Gensen as well, in single combat. So, it's not to be...
So, that's probably where I'd know it from, since he killed someone from...
Yes.
Yeah. It's definitely not. It's definitely not.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's,
Okay. Okay, cool. Right, okay, I've read that. That's awesome.
cool. So yeah.
Darthus kind of picks it up in its scabbard and holds it kind of horizontally and turns to the other two and sort of looks down at it and is almost weeping at this point. And I think Decimus can understand why that would be.
Darthus, you actually have the energy from the sword actually travels up your arm, and you can see it's almost burning into your veins on the underside of your arm.
Right.
And you can't take the sword out the scabbard until the actual burning recedes and goes away, and you get a sense of acceptance around you, and then the sword slides out the scabbard nice and easily. And the minute you even think about, I wonder what I could do with this, the flames just dance up and down the blade, so it actually looks like it's on fire. Well, it is on fire, and you can switch it on and off at will, basically. So you're just doing that, and you can see every single time you do it, the veins in your right arm pulse bright, like there's magma in them, and then go away again, and then pulse bright with magma, and then go away again.
Well, I'm never going to get used to that, so let's see.
I'm going to do a binding check to kind of look at this, because this is so cool.
You're getting the sense that this is attuned to his blood, so you couldn't do this. You could certainly wield the blade if you had the strength, but you couldn't do what you're doing. Neither could Sire either. It's attuned to his blood.
Yeah. Even though I've heard of Daybringer, I'd
like to take the sword and lay it on the sarcophagus, with point facing downwards, as though it was resting on his remains, and leave it there for a moment while we gather ourselves as kind of a sign of respect.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know whether anyone else wants to do anything while we're here.
What's this?
That is just a cracked mirror. That has nothing. So things that you lay down here in life, normally in the Valenrethian, afterlife with God and the Spire Church and stuff. One of the earliest incantations of the Spire Church was that the dead should always have a reflection on them, just so things enter into the afterlife through mirrors in the Spire Church, basically.
Okay.
Sorry if I was talking over anybody. I couldn't hear you all.
No, don't worry.
No.
Okay. So,
What?
I would kind of, I read out aloud what they said, what was said in the papers,
Mhm.
And so like that, we now, from having done this, we've been granted this, and then I'd explain, then I'd kind of look at Darthus and kind of gesture to the sword. It's like, I'm pretty sure, from what I can tell, I think this belongs to you now.
I think so too. I had a certain feeling when I picked it up, and there was it seemed like it was indecisive for a moment. And strange. The sword can't have a consciousness, but I swear that that it did at that point. But yes, it seems like it belonged to Sarpedon and now to me. I'm deeply honored.
I'm gonna say, like, this is because I would I know enough of the lore, and I would have recognized the sword.
Mm-hmm.
If not only from like from the history I've learned before, but from the visions. I'm just like, this is Daybringer. The sword has been a part of one of the biggest parts of history.
And now it's a part of ours.
Yeah. When you say the name, I'm just like, whoa, really? Like, just mostly in a look.
Just like, wait, no way. Just no way. I'm just gonna tell him, use it well. It's got powers that I don't think we'll be able to imagine, that we're able to imagine.
I'll try. I will try. I will. And with that, I think I'll exit the.
Yeah, I mean, you can all have a look at Daybringer if you want on the
Yeah.
thing. It's a pretty good sword.
Pretty good sword, yeah.
So you guys
Can I charge it for him?
No, definitely not.
No.
Definitely not. It needs to be the person doing it who can charge it. I imagine Damocles would be very interested. The fact that you have the sword of the Emperor of Valenry.
Yeah.
That's gonna make for an awkward discussion, especially since it's bound
I was thinking
to him now.
it could kind of be
made
like
a ferrite too.
I was thinking it could kind of be like the sword in the morning, a sword of the morning. Sorry, like the House Dane in Game of Thrones. Like it's not always the eldest son or the leader of the house who gets the sword of the morning. Who gets Dawn. It's like the most worthy knight or the one who basically has an attachment to the sword who gets it, rather than the actual. I'm thinking it might be something like that, or he might just be a jealous prick and want to take it himself.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But
sick resin and have resin fight you for it.
How often would someone see ferrite in this world?
Not often.
Like, would I have ever seen it in my life?
No.
Probably.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I might have seen it, while I was training in Valenry, but it would have been like shards of it. Like something my master had from his days of his training. Like, just slivers of it. It's just kind of, they react to the binding.
So is ferrite like the mithril of this
kind
world?
of, yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
like if someone has it, it's like, oh my god.
But it's kind of like mithril and a channeling, like crystal in one thing. It looks. Binding can you can freely change and control ferrite with the binding, but it is also like very powerful, super powerful steel as well.
Yeah. So that's probably why it's so big in Valenry, because it's so attuned to the binding.
Yeah. I think so.
So, as you guys are walking back through the fortress here, dumbstruck a little bit, I want you all to roll a perception check. Don't panic. I just want you to all roll a perception check.
And we all die.
Don't panic.
It's almost worse when you say don't panic, Dean.
It's much
I
worse.
pass.
Yeah.
Okay, so you all notice something missing from this room when you're walking past, and as you're walking around, you notice that the blue light has disappeared from all of the
Obsidian?
Obsidian down here.
Ah, crap.
Oh, fuck. I don't want to do this right now.
I'm gonna do a binding check on the obsidian, see what I can feel that's different about it.
Okay, roll a binding check.
I get possessed again.
No, you basically realize that when the sword was taken out of the you can sense the links, you know. So when the sword is taken out of the sarcophagi room downstairs, the last lock on release on the soul is released. So the soul has just been released, screaming back into the world somewhere, and it's gone racing away.
Shit.
I'm not gonna say this out loud right away. I'm like, it's some sort of warning. Like just in my mind, like some sort of warning would have been really nice. Just anything.
And just say.
Do you say that aloud?
No. I'm just like
warning?
thinking. He's just kind of looking at like.
Okay.
He's not saying interesting. We'll leave it at that. He's just kind of staring like. Okay. And then he's gonna.
Alright.
He'll tell you about it later. But for now,
I'm just like, gonna chalk that up to normal Decimus bullshit. Like you've just been going around like, interesting. Just.
I'm gonna take these stairs up.
Yeah, I'm just.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys go back up to the main central courtyard. We'll do the front courtyard. And you come up onto the actual grass and things like that. And you find your friends here waiting for you. There is Sejanus looks really pleased. I mean, like, he is just beaming from ear to ear. And they're all just around, just like looking really happy, like this is in better shape than we thought, sort of thing. And Sejanus is like just walks over to the statue because it looks really pretty, and he's like puts his hand on it. And obviously there's no blue in there anymore. And he just smiles at it, he just like taps it and goes, wow, this is absolutely amazing.
Yeah. It is, my friend. It is. What have you seen of the castle from the exterior?
There's nothing, just it looks big from outside, but when you come inside, you don't really get a sense of it.
Well, I can say that we've spent all that time that you've been away exploring the insides and the lower levels of the castle. So yes, it's a big place.
You still got like a full 2 floors to go. So...
Yeah. We still haven't gone up.
No.
It's like if you care, gesture. It's like if you care to join us, we were about to explore check out the upper floors.
So I think what I'll do for the rest of the session, there's no real story. So we're now 2 things I wanted to say about this session going forward now. But we're just gonna have a look at the second floor of the castle here. Okay, should be the second floor. This is the first half of the second floor.
1 second. Yeah. 1 second.
Okay.
So you've got like living spaces here, like nice wooden floors and things like that. You got like windows going down, so you can see the thing down here. You can see, and you can see that room. That you remember when I said, Darthus, you were in a room, blah blah.
Yeah.
The guardhouse. That's the roof of it there.
Okay.
And there are, obviously defense points and boiling oil chambers and things like that all the way around. But these are all empty living spaces, basically. These are all staterooms and things, and you can even convert some of them into training rooms. You'll get options into how you want to outfit the castle as you go forward. This is the back of it. This is where most of the officers sleep. So in all of these rooms here will be where all the officers sleep. They get their own rooms. And there is a big meeting hall. It's like a war room at the back here with like a massive table with like all of the East on it, basically. And yeah, that's about it for that part. Yeah, and you can see just for references the Great Hall down there.
Are these like barracks or something?
Yeah, they're bedrooms. Yeah, for the officers. Okay. And the top floor is the battlements, which is these things here. These are the battlements. So these are, where if you ever get besieged or you ever want to go out for a stroll of the night, you can see the rooftops here of all the places where you've been. You can see the actual, the roof here, all the battlements, and where you get quite dizzy up here. It's quite high up. And on the last part is the last part of the battlements, the rear part of the battlement, which is where you can see the commanding rooms of the actual fortress. So here is where the, presumably Sarpedon, you can see the really nice, roof of the Great Hall here. And there's a room here. And there's a room here. So, this is basically the commander's quarters is up here, where he or she goes. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the actual fortress itself, and that's what you guys go around looking at. You're going to need that next session. We're going to go over everything and make sure you guys know where the ins and outs are, where you go up and where you go down, and there will be missions. And if anyone played, I know David played Ventia. A lot of things will be very familiar. Like you will get basically. Tomorrow or next day you will get a full list of missions that you can do to upgrade your castle and to get agents and get troops into your castle, to train your troops up. And for each one of those you will get Wolfspire points. And for each Wolfspire point you get, when bad things happen in the story and your army needs to be called into question, I'll be rolling on what your Wolfspire points are. Basically how good your contacts are and things like that. You already have Shokan, he's here now, he's extremely pleased, he's already setting up shop, he loves it here. But yeah, you'll get agents, you'll get different people coming, you get traders, you'll get dignitaries when you move up in the world, and your guild gets more expansive and more. You'll be a lot more at the forefront of world events than, say, the Stormbreakers were in the original Ventia campaign. This is a fortress for constant conquerors. So if this place gets done up and you guys start going on really successful missions, things will really start getting better for you and heating up, and you'll become world players on the world stage. But from here, pretty much, it's complete sandbox now. The story has been set up. You've had a few revelations. You guys know what's going on now, kind of. There is still a whole other half of the story to uncover, and it's going to advance as we go along. You will have people sending messages and ravens to Wolfspire when people know you're there, just saying, asking for help, giving you missions, things like that. You'll have people from Kaldanian coming over. They might even hire you. You may need to take an army and go somewhere else. You may end up in Valenreath. You may end up in Kaldanian for a bit. We'll treat that as like DLC. You know what I mean? Like if this is a video game, you get the campaign. You go over there and do something to affect stuff going on over there. But your base is in Saga. Your base is in Wolfspire Fortress, and yeah, that's pretty much it for this session. That's all we were thinking about.
Yeah, it's been really good.
Okay.
It's been good to kind of develop our characters and move the story along and stuff. So yeah, it's good. Good. I love the map as well. Awesome.
Oh yeah,
So,
this is
So
a
nice.
really good map.
So cool.
Yeah. It's a bit overwhelming because there are lots of things on the map, and it's.
I'm definitely gonna start.
Huge.
I think we're gonna have to start a little company of miners to help expand our resources down
Well,
there.
yeah, you definitely could do
Yeah,
that.
that's what I was thinking too.
The nice thing is that most of the stairs are self-explanatory, so you can see them going up and you see them going down. So
Yeah.
nearly everyone's going up or going to the next floor, basically. So, apart from this one, which just goes into the raised Great Hall, which is now raised up a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for this session.
Cool. All right.
Um,
Been really good. Thanks for.
No worries. And people will be getting stuff in the next couple of sessions, so don't worry about it. They're all going to be. So, what was your Dan? What was your Tempest power?
Mine was the lightning one. Let me just tell you. It is Torrent Bane is my one. And then I have as the Primaris armor discharge from Forgebound as well.
Okay. And Decimus, what was yours?
Mine was the Maelstrom.
Yeah, and what was the power?
Oh, you gave me what's it called? You gave me Skybreaker.
Ah, you got that for free. Didn't you get to choose one?
Oh, I chose. I thought we chose two.
You chose
Yeah,
Eye of
Yeah,
the
we
Storm, didn't
chose to.
I
got
chose
Lightning Bolts and
Ether Storm and Storm Eye.
you? You can use Storm Eye now.
Ho, ho, ho.
After what's been going on down there, you're starting to unlock parts of the spell that are in your head. So you can use Storm Eye now. Darth has got a whopping great sword this session, so we'll leave him with that.
Yep.
And Saya, you obviously did yours. You can use yours now. But it's instinctive, so basically I'll tell you when you're doing it up until you've used it a few times, and then you can use it at will.
Okay.
Yeah, I figure up until a certain point, we're just kind of activating it in times
Yes.
we really need it.
Yes, exactly.
Like my link ability.
Yeah, so Decimus, you'll still need to ask me, saying, can I use this now? And I'll probably say no, But at times of really heightened stress, where, I might die here, then I'll be like, okay, it's unlocked, go. It's like
And if I
biting
need
a
to
nuclear
use
weapon,
it, I'll know.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it. There's going to be a shorter session. I planned it to be a shorter session this time around, because it was a mammoth one last time. And, I felt we needed a shorter, calmer session. A little bit of combat in there, but a shorter, calmer session just so you could get some of the lore.
After last time.
Yeah, just so you could all chill out and get a bit of the lore down, and we can get we can get the story down again, so we know where we're going, what we're doing. You're now fully set up to do some missions in Wolfspire itself. So yeah, I'll get you some. There'll be about 5 or 6 missions that you can do from Wolfspire right now, and that's it really.
Cool. All right.
Nice.
Thanks, Sam.
No worries, and we'll see you guys later on Twitch and streaming as well.
Thanks for watching.
All right.
Take care.
Goodbye.
Bye.